Okay guys, we're in about middle Georgia, and cold front came through and we got some snow, which I'm glad to see. So it's been raining all day, well, a good bit today, and it's been really cold, and we've had a good bit of sleet, and finally it turned into a little bit of snow, and I wish we could get like 4 or 5 inches of snow. But it's really good to see the snow, and we definitely want to try out our tent right here. Shrink that down a little bit. You can see the snow on the side of the tent right here. And this will be a real test right here, see if it's going to leak or not. Man, it's like we only got maybe ½ inch of snow, and inside the tent here, that black bag, the first one there, that's my Londtren. I'm gonna try that out and see if I get cold in the Londtren. I've got my Snugpak sleeping bag on the other side of it, rolled up, and I'll get into that one, which that's an Antarctica Snugpak RE. It's good below zero. It should be in the maybe 15 degrees in the morning with the wind chill factor. So that's where we should be there. And with this light here, let's see. You can see it's a lot of kind of rain with sleet and also a few flakes of snow. 30 degrees or 29 degrees right now. Okay guys, I see one problem right now with this tent. I just touched the front of it, and what's happening is, see the poles right here, they are collapsing on this tent right here. See that? The tent is collapsing. So what does that mean? That means I need to take some string and pull up on these poles and pull them back out and tie them down with those little tent stakes I had, I guess. So, but yeah, it's not made of snow. You see that now? It's just collapsing. Nope, we'll fix that. Okay guys, well, we'll find out one thing real quick with this dome tent is that the 4 supporting rods that go from the ground across the apex of it down to the other side, that X shape that it makes, they're not meant for snow. And I mean, we got like a ½ inch of snow, ice. Yeah, it's been raining, so that adds weight to it. And the sides of the tent right here are kind of collapsing a little bit on the sides of the tent because of the extra weight. And now I knocked all the snow off the sides of it. And so in this case, you're going to lose 2 feet probably. If you don't want your head touching the side of the tent right here, you know how embarrassing it is when you wake up and your head is frozen to the tent. You don't want to go through that, right? So anyway, so it's better that your feet are touching the tent than your head. But it's sleeting right now. It's not bad. But if it does this all night, we may have 1.5 inches of snow if it does this all night. And so what you'd have to do here is just, if the tent starts to crumble down, because that's what it was doing in the front of the tent when I opened the door of the tent, the front end started to come down a little bit and go to the side. I mean, it was crumpling down because the rods there, they're not that strong. So, again, it's $30 Walmart Ozark Mountain tent, which it's done really, really good. The snow is the only thing I've seen that causes any kind of problem. And one thing I can say too is that on the sides right here, where they're not vertical, they're turned in like normally they turn in at like 11 o'clock. Now they're turned in probably about 10:30, a lot more, which that allows the wind to hit the sides here and to come inside and roll around a lot easier than normal. So that's another issue there with this particular design here. So if you think you're ever going to be in snow and ice on a tent like this, you need something a lot better, which you need a lot longer rain cap for the wind and stuff like that for the winter. But I mean, this is just, I'm just trying to figure out what all this tent can handle. You can take a string and tie it to the rods on the outside and pull those rods out with the string. You can use the small tent hooks you use for this tent that came with it, and that'll stabilize the tent. Also, it'll also stabilize the tent by securing those rods, those 4 different rods there that come up, go about halfway and pull them out, especially a strong, really strong wind. So you can do that too. So that's kind of where we're at there, stabilizing those rods with the string and the tent stakes, and that should get you by in the snow, but you're going to feel the wind. So it's supposed to be down in the teens, so we'll see. But I'm in the Londtren right now. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway, the black sleeping bag. If I get cold in this one, I've got my Snugpak over here, right there. Mummy bag, that's in Arca, R-E, and that won't keep me warm no matter what. So we'll see how this right here does, the Londtren. And I've got a couple of extra pair of clothes on here, so that should help. So that's kind of where we're at on this beautiful night. And I'm really glad that it snowed. I wish we could get like 3 inches. This tent would cave in on me if we had 3 inches probably, but it'd be nice to see the snow. Hadn't seen it again. I think it's been about 8 years since we had any real snow. So, and I hear the wind rustling through the trees there. So we got some wind, about 10 mile per hour winds. They go from like 5 to 10. So we'll see how it works. Okay, guys, I'm gonna turn the radio on, listen to the radio for a little while, and enjoy this pitter-patter of sleep and falling on the tent, and a little bit of rain, and kind of enjoy the night here. I'll let you know what else happens here. Like Gary J. Okay, guys, one other thought too, while I'm thinking about it. You have to sleep diagonal in this tent, especially now with the sides. Instead of being like 11 o'clock, they're more like 10:30. And so in this case, it's only really good for one person in this 3-person dome tent in this situation. Otherwise, your feet and your head will be hitting the canvas here, and you don't want that to happen. Sometimes the outside atmosphere, the water and stuff, can seep through the tent right here. Now, when I put this tent up, in the beginning, I sprayed it down really good with a sealant, kind of like Scotch Guard. It's a silicone sealant, and I'm glad I did, but I saturated it really, really good. Okay. So, yeah, even though this tent is 7 foot by 7 foot, I can tell you it's only 5 foot by 5 foot right now with the ice and snow on it. Okay. So, another thing to keep in consideration.
Chance of precipitation is 70% with northeast winds at 5 to 10. Sunny with a high of 42 tomorrow with north winds 5 to 10. Mostly clear and cold tomorrow night, low 25. That's weather from the studios.
That's a weather report for today and tomorrow. So, well, the wind factor is supposed to be down in around 15, they said, but we'll see. Okay, guys, that's the only thing to keep. You're going to have to sleep diagonal in here. You can only get one person diagonally sleep in here. Because now it's, side to side. It's going to be like 5 feet now. Because the sides of it collapsed inward. Okay. All right, then we're going to listen to some music, a little bit of music, not much, because I want to hear the sleet falling on the tent. Okay. This is what it looks like outside the tent this morning here. We only got like an inch of snow, and that didn't last very long. It's about 7:30 in the morning now. I slept really warm, but that's kind of what it looks like this morning. It's pretty snow. I wish it had lasted a lot longer. Wish we got about 5 or 6 inches of it. That would have been nice. But what can you say? That's where the fireplace is over there. I'll tell you one thing. Another thing too, I was thinking about. I've had fires in the middle of the night that were 5 feet high. Fires 5 feet high, and sleeping on the ground without a sleeping pad. And you would lay on the ground, say on your back, and the rest of your body might get warm from a big campfire, but your back's gonna get cold. Then you get on your side, and then your side gets cold. Then you gotta turn over on your stomach, and the chest get cold. You keep turning around and around trying to stay warm. Even if you got a fire that's 6 feet tall, the coldness there is what gets you, see. Another thing too, I noticed on the dome tent right here, because the weight of ice and stuff on the tent pulls it forward more so than normal. You can see this gap right here, which normally it's like 4 inches down, but now it's only like 1 inch covering the edge right here. And so wind can really come in through here now, through your netting. So that's another thing about this tent's not really good for snow and ice, that's for sure. But just letting you know, guys. Okay, look at the tent here, guys. After, I don't know, 1 inch or so of rain and with ice and sleet and snow, the tent did not have any leaks. That's the good part there. Didn't have any leaks held up to that. The ice on it was a lot thicker last night, and it pulls down on the tent. You see the sides of the tent here? They're kind of pushed in more so than normal. Okay, so while it's 7 foot wide and long, with the sides being pushed in like that, the way they are, it turns it into like a 5-foot tent, because your head or feet are going to hit the sides of walls. More so now than before. And the only thing I noticed was that when I opened the front door on it last night, was that the whole tent began to sag and to bend down and kind of go to the left. And I don't know whether that's because I opened the door and the integrity and the weight that was on it from the snow and the ice and stuff was causing that. These rods on it are really thin. They're not even half an inch thick. I've had dome tents that had super heavy fiberglass rod. That would not happen. But this is a cheap dome tent. I'm not complaining about it. And it's got a rod in here that holds this right here out. And that collapsed, which that's not a problem there because it's just got a slot. You pop it back in. You can see out across here, it's not much. And down there in the pond by the field there, you don't really see much snow in that field. So it's a beautiful winter day here in Georgia. I love it. But we didn't get the snow we wanted. Well, I wanted it anyway. I don't know, probably nobody else wanted it but me, but you know, that's how I am. That's how I roll. Right? I was hoping to get like 4 or 5 inches of snow. That would have been really nice. But that's kind of where we're at here. The fireplace there. This my Snugpak kept me warm last night. Got down like 21 on the wind chill, and wearing, you know, like this, I call it a warm-up suit. These right here work real well. The pants too. And wearing this, and I got a pair of pants underneath this warm-up suit and a shirt underneath this warm-up suit. And that's my Snugpak. I had it as a reserve in case I froze in my Londtren sleeping bag. If I froze in that one, I know the Antarctica Snugpak would keep me warm. So, and the ground is cold as ice, like an ice cube. And I was mentioning about the climate air pad there, 5.0 R rating. Had no cold spots come through. I had no hard spots come through, because when you lay on the ground like this right here, especially in wintertime, you feel every rock. You feel every root. You feel every unevenness of the ground. Everything pokes you, sticks you. I mean, it's miserable. I have slept that way without pads with sleeping bags in cold weather. It is miserable, and you can't stay warm, because if you're laying on this with a sleeping bag, you will freeze, and you'll keep rolling over trying to keep warm all night long. And so this sleeping pad is well worth the money. So I feel like I'm sleeping in my bed when I'm on this pad right here. It's that comfortable, and again, no hard spots, no cold spots coming from the ground. And so it's worth its weight in gold there to me. So yeah, this right here came down, and then I just have to pop this back in its place. It's not a problem at all. Empty rod back in place right here, so only takes a second to do that. It's real simple and easy. And right here is where the rod goes into a little slot here. It's just not made for any weight up here on the top of it. Ooh, man, my hand's starting to freeze out here now. It's cold with a wind chill. The wind was at like 10 miles an hour, which makes it a really nice, beautiful night for camping. I love it that way. Listen to the wind and the sleet, and see the snow. Great night. Okay, guys. Y'all have a great day today. Gary J.